So far we have learnt about different sources of light. But do you know how light spreads? Okay, let me explain. If we observe when the rays of sunlight enter in our homes through some hole in the roof, we find that those rays of light travel in straight lines. We also must have observed at night the light from a torch also travels in a straight line. So, we understand that light travels in straight lines. Let's prove this by doing a scientific activity. Take 3 cardboards with the same dimensions. Make one hole in each of the 3 cardboard pieces at the central point and fix them to small blocks of wood so that they can stand erect. Place the 3 cardboard pieces in a straight line. Now make the room dark. Then put a candle at close to the first cardboard near the hole and light it. Then observe carefully. The light from the candle flame from near the third cardboard. The light travels through the 3 holes of the cardboard. If you disturb any one of 3 cardboard pieces, the candle flame becomes invisible. This is because of the rectilinear passage of light. Let me ask you a question. What do we see when we stand in the daylight? Yes, you are right. We see our shadow. Do you know how it forms? No. Don't worry, I will explain. Before getting the answer for this question, we have to know about transparent and opaque substances. The substances that allow the light passing through them are called transparent substances. For example, glass, water, air, etc. They all allow the light to pass through them. The substances that do not allow light to pass through them are called opaque substances. For example, stone, wood, rubber, human body, etc. They do not allow the light to pass through them. The substances in which light can pass partially through them are called translucent substances. For example, ground glass, oil paper and tracing paper. From these substances, light passes partially. We cannot see the objects on the other side of these substances clearly. Now, let's know how a shadow is formed. We have learnt about different types of substances. Human body is an opaque substance. When you stand in the sunlight, our body comes in the path of the sun's rays of light. Sun rays do not pass through our body because our body is an opaque substance. When an opaque body is put in the path of the beam of the light cannot travel. So, a dark spot is formed behind the opaque body. That dark spot is called the shadow. With this example, we learn that shadows are formed because light travels in straight lines. Let's prove this by doing an experiment. Take a cardboard with a small hole and a screen. Take a candle, put it near the hole and light it. Then put a small rubber ball which is an opaque body, and place it between the source of the light and the screen. Then observe, a shadow similar to the object is formed on the screen. As the object is a ball, a circular shadow is formed on the screen. If we bring the rubber ball near the hole, the size of the shade increases. If we bring the ball little away from the ball, the size of the shadow decreases. When an opaque body comes in between the passage of light, umbra and penumbra are formed. Now, let us know about the formation of umbra and penumbra. But first, let us know what the meaning of umbra and penumbra is. Umbra is the part of the shadow where no light is received directly from the source, and the shadow's outer part is called the penumbra. Now, let us do an experiment to know how umbra and penumbra are formed. Take an electric bulb and arrange as mentioned in the image. Take a small ball which is smaller than the bulb. Arrange a screen to catch the shadow. Then switch on the light and bring the ball near the electric bulb. Then observe the shadow carefully. We see two different situations in the shadow on the screen. We find one dark spot in the middle is seen along the circumference of the circular shadow, which is not so dark. The dark spot is called the umbra, and the light circular portion of the shadow is called the penumbra. With this activity, we know that umbra and penumbra are clearly formed when the object is smaller than the source of the light. Hey, you must have definitely heard about eclipses. Sometimes in the daylight, sun disappears for a short time, and in the night, the moon disappears. Do you know why this happens? Okay, let me explain. The sun is a self-luminous body. It is bigger than the earth by many times. The earth is an opaque body. The earth's satellite is moon. It is smaller than earth. The moon is also an opaque body. We know that the earth goes round the sun and the moon goes round the earth. During these revolutions, the moon may happen to come between the sun and the earth. In the same way, the earth may happen to come between the sun and the moon. With this, eclipses happen. We know there are two types of eclipses. They are solar eclipse and lunar eclipse. Let's learn how they are formed. The solar eclipse occurs when the moon comes between the sun and the earth. In that state, we are in the umbra of the moon and cannot see the sun completely. We say that is solar or total solar eclipse. The people in the penumbra of the moon can see the sun partially. This is called partial solar eclipse. Lunar eclipse, it means moon eclipse. We know the moon is a satellite of earth and it revolves around the earth and the earth revolves around the sun. While revolving round the sun, the earth comes between the sun and the moon. At that time, people in that area cannot see the moon. This is known as lunar eclipse or total lunar eclipse. In another way, a part of the moon may enter the umbra and the rest of the moon may remain in penumbra. That portion of the moon which enters the umbra of the earth cannot be seen. That portion in the penumbra can be seen by the people on the earth. This is known as partial lunar eclipse. One important point is that the earth comes between the sun and the moon on a full moon day. Therefore, the lunar eclipse occurs only on a full moon day.